Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Craigslist? Really? People still be going on there?
No.
The most clucked up website that you can probably go on, other than the dark web. And you rather go on, bruh. You can't even go on freaking eBay? Craigslist. Are you freaking kidding me? People just don't freaking learn, don't they? They rather go on Craigslist, buy a freaking chair, meet them at late at night, then they die by a murderer that just wanted to play games with them. All I gotta say is this. If anybody out there is using Craigslist, stop. Stop it now.
Okay.
It's not gonna work well for you. Go on eBay. Go on those other web. Do not go on freaking Craigslist. Y'all thought. If you wanna die, okay, fine. Die. I don't care.
Okay.
What is it, good? You got my name's Rebellion, back with another video for today. For today, guys, we're gonna be reacting to, or we're gonna be listening to four scary stories from Craigslist. You know what I'm saying? By Mr. Nightmare. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of you guys have been wanting me to get back into playing or listening to these type of videos, these type of stories. I've been gone for a minute. Don't get me wrong. I've been listening. Well, I haven't really been listening to them, to be honest with you. But I was about to lie right there. But seriously, I hope you guys enjoy these. Remember to smash that like button if you guys want me to do more of these in the near future. Bro, we've been watching a lot of and playing a lot of like scary stuff lately. I don't know if this is gonna be a horror channel or something, but I don't know, man. I'm just trying different things, new things, and yeah, let's get right to this video. Banjo? Why the frick is the banjo playing?
When I was 17 and looking to buy my first car, I was on Craigslist every single day. I wasn't looking for anything fancy, just a beater car that could get me from point A to point B.
Okay.
My budget was $3,000 at most, so the cars I was looking at were no newer than 03, 04.
Okay.
I found an ad one day for a 2002 two-door Honda Accord. It was listed for $2,000, and the mileage was under 80,000, so right away I knew I wanted to check it out.
That's pretty good.
The person who posted the ad lived a few towns over from us, a 20-minute drive on the highway. I convinced my mom to drive me out there to view the car after conversing with the guy over the phone.
Okay.
Originally, I texted him asking for details, but he ended up calling me. He sounded basically normal over the phone.
Basically?
Rather polite. He answered some questions I had about the car and whatnot, and when he asked for my name and I told him Dan, he said, "Dan, what a great name. That's my name too." I laughed because it was the polite thing to do, but I just found it to be such an odd comment. Like everything about it, it almost sounded like he forgot his name was Dan because of the pause between "what a great name" and "that's my name." It just sounded sketchy. Nevertheless, everything else about the call went fine, so the next day my mom drove me to the address the guy gave me. Getting off the highway and onto the streets, right away we agreed this was a trashy looking neighborhood.
Okay.
Bars on windows, graffiti under bridges. I was hoping the guy's place wouldn't seem equally sketchy, but as we pulled up, it was. It wasn't a standard property like the rest in the area. The entrance to the property was between two houses. It wasn't a driveway, just some low-key road that led into an inlet with two more houses.
Oh my gosh. Those type of freaking places are so sus. Like, I don't know why. Bro, I would just be like, what? This is the place, Mom? Let's do a roundabout. Let's turn the freaking car around. We're going back home. I don't want to be here. The frick?
The house was cramped
I'm
between
not doing
other
this no
houses
more.
and buildings. But there I saw it. The Honda Accord, which was in, I guess, what you'd call the driveway for this house. My mom and I stepped up to the front door and rang the bell. We didn't know if it rang or not because we couldn't hear anything, so I knocked.
Nah.
One of the windows opened out of nowhere, and a man's voice said, "Come inside, the door's unlocked."
What?
I went to open the door, and my mom stopped me and whispered, "Are you sure you want to go in there?" I said, "Yeah." I let ourselves
should
in,
listen to your
expecting
mom.
to be greeted by Dan. The inside of this place was kind of dark. Not a lot of natural light came in through the minimal windows.
Okay.
"Hello?" I said. "Yeah, over here," the voice called.
No! You know exactly what's up! Haul ass out the freaking house! What is wrong with you? Bro, let me tell you guys something. If a man ever tells you to, oh, the door's unlocked, come in, and you don't know who this person is, don't even freaking get inside the house. I don't care if you're a delivery person, even if you're a freaking pizza man. I'll be okay. I'm leaving the pizza. Nah, I'm staying my ass right here. What? Why?
It was a deeper voice than I heard on the phone.
Huh?
Dan? I asked. Yeah, he said. I began walking through the little kitchen, closer to his voice. My mom grabbed my shoulder and stopped me. She whispered in my ear, "We're leaving."
Yep.
The man's voice now came from beyond this door at the end of the kitchen. He called up, "Down here, we could do the transaction here."
Nah, we're not doing no transaction down here. We're doing it right here, or I'm leaving.
My mom and I left the house in a hurry.
Nope.
As we were hurrying to my car, a lady at the next building over called to us. She came hurrying down from her front porch, warning us not to go in there.
What?
She asked why we were there, and we explained that I came to buy a car, but that he was calling us into his basement. The woman said that she's been concerned about that man living next door for months.
Wow.
She thinks he's up to no good, and that he constantly has random cars pull up in the driveway in the middle of the night. We asked if his name was Dan. She said she wasn't sure, but that she vaguely remembered the guy introducing himself as Mike. She told us to just get far away from the house immediately. And
Boy,
so we
why
did.
aren't you been calling the police?
It's disturbing to know my mom and I may have been murdered in that basement if we went down there.
Oh yeah.
Like, how could we do a transaction before even viewing the car or agreeing on anything? Better question why in the basement. The whole thing screams trap. I don't know what else he could have wanted to do to us, more specifically me, in that basement.
Bruh, you're screwed. Man. Oh my goodness. Like, what is... Like, you're lucky your mom is actually has common sense. A lot of moms don't have common sense. They'll just be like, okay, I'll just drop you off and you can just walk the way back. Like, come on. Your mom, bro, come on. Use this, please.
This actually happened to my best friend Chris. His family had just bought a new TV and they were thinking of just throwing their old one away. Chris's older brother John suggested to their dad Rick that they could sell the old TV on Craigslist to make some easy cash.
Is that freaking Vision? Is this supposed to be the WandaVision freaking series?
Since the family never used Craigslist, John said he could set up the ad for him, since John's girlfriend used Craigslist before. So John put up an image of the TV with the description, "Used 55-inch Samsung 4K TV for $200. He also put Rick's phone number, so if anyone was interested, they could just call or text him. A week later, Rick got a call from a guy who introduced himself as Toby, and he said he was interested in the TV and wanted to know if he could come by the house at 10 o'clock that same night to pick it up.
Nah.
Rick said sure, and he sent Toby his address.
Oh, gosh.
Later that night, while Rick, Chris, and John waited outside the house for Toby to come so they could help him load the TV into his car, Rick got a call from Toby, and he said he wouldn't be able to make it to the house because he was almost out of gas, so he and Rick agreed to meet in the parking lot of a Circle K. After Rick got off the phone, him, Chris, and John loaded the TV in the back of Rick's pickup truck, and they took off to the Circle K, where Toby said he was at.
Okay, at least in this situation, you have 3 other mans with you. If it was by yourself,
15
say
miles
goodbye.
away from the house. When they got there, they pulled up in a parking space next to the gas pumps, where Toby was filling up his car, a black Nissan Altima. A few minutes later, a tall, heavy-set bald guy with a goatee walked over to Rick's truck and said he was Toby. He told Rick that since the TV was big, it would most likely not be able to fit in his car, so he suggested that they could just follow him back to his house, and Rick agreed with him. After a few minutes of driving on the main highway, they got onto a back road, which looked sketchy because it was nothing but trees on either side of the road, and it was filled with potholes. Toby texted Rick and said his house was at the end of the road. When they got to the end, the place that was supposedly Toby's house didn't even look like a house at all.
what?
It looked more like a tall, abandoned building. When they got out of the truck, Toby told them to untie the TV from the back so they could start unloading it.
Oh, gosh.
After they untied the TV, they turned around and saw 3 large men emerge from the back of the car.
Oh, you guys are about to die! Bro, it's a 55-inch TV. How is a 55-inch TV not gonna fit in a car? You can have the smallest car in the world. You can still fit it in some way. Trust me. You can put it in the freaking front of the seat. Just lay it on the side. Like, fold the freaking fold the car seat. Like, what? Bro, you just got finessed and you're about to get embarrassed. They're about to tell you to pull your pants down and to bend down. You're about to get
All pulled out guns, including Toby.
Oh,
they threatened
guns?
to kill them if they didn't give them all they had on them.
Oh, wow.
Rick, Chris, and John didn't hesitate, so They all gave the guys their wallets and phones, and they obviously took the TV too.
Wow.
After taking everything they had, the guys got back in the car and drove away.
That's crazy.
When Rick, Chris, and John got home, Chris and John told their mom everything that went down,
got
and Rick
finessed.
called the cops and told them the whole story, and even gave them the license plate number for the car since he memorized it. To this day, Chris's family never heard of any arrest being made. That was the one and only time the family ever used Craigslist.
Damn. Don't ever use Craigslist again. Like, the frick?
In 2012, when Craigslist was more popular, I'd say, my house was broken into and robbed. A bunch of things were stolen, like 2 TVs, my
Damn,
Xbox
who was that
360, all of my video games, my hockey skates, and whatever stray cash I had laying around. I had the police come investigate the house, but nothing that would help track the perpetrator, including fingerprints, was found.
Bro, don't tell me it's gonna come to the guy selling all of these Xboxes and stuff like that on Craigslist, and then you figure out it's him. Oh, come on.
I gave them a list of everything that was stolen, but the cops in my county usually suck, and they didn't help at all.
Damn.
Now I had to replace everything that was stolen. Believe it or not, the most costly thing to replace would be the video game collection.
Yeah.
But I was starting with the replacement TVs. I went to Craigslist, and there was an ad that was posted earlier that day for a 40-inch Panasonic TV for a low price. Panasonic was the brand I had, so I contacted the seller and drove to his house that night. He let me into his disgusting home.
What's with people trying to drive to and find their... Bro, why does it always have to be the night? Why not during the day in an open area where everyone can see...
Stains in the carpets and general messiness of the place didn't help. He brought me to this back room where the TV was. I examined it, and it was the exact TV that I had in my living room that was stolen.
No, really?
Then I started to look around the room.
Dumbass.
And I noticed another smaller TV that was tucked in the corner of the room, as well as an Xbox. The smaller TV looked exactly like my other TV.
Oh my gosh!
I went to pick up the
Oh
Xbox
my
and check
gosh!
the bottom of it for the specific long scratch in the case that mine had. And there it was. That was my Xbox. That was all of my shit. I looked at the guy, who had a confused look on his face, and I said, "Dude, you're the piece of shit that stole my stuff."
Why would you say that to him? You're in his house. He can kill you.
His expression changed. He played dumb and had an angry tone now. He told me to get out of his house and lifted his shirt, exposing his gun holster.
No,
I live
really?
in Texas, so he likely had a license to carry.
Oh, Texas?
I left the house and called the cops.
That's even
They
worse.
arrived to the scene, but the man wouldn't let them in. He insisted they get a warrant and claimed that I was harassing him. I told the cops about my police report and the robbery and everything. They said they wouldn't be able to get a search warrant until the next day.
What?
I regretted not getting pictures while inside
Forget
the
Texas.
room, but I wasn't thinking through
Trash.
the moment. I was furious and I didn't know what to do. But that night, while I was getting ready for bed and doing research about search warrants, lawyers, and different possible outcomes to this situation, I heard a window break downstairs.
Oh!
Immediately, I knew it was him.
Oh, heck no.
Following my instincts, I climbed out of my window and down to the small ledge under my window. From there, I jumped to the ground and ran to my neighbor's house. My neighbor let me in while I called the police. They arrived within 10 minutes.
That's
I
crazy.
handed the police my spare house key I had hidden on the side of the house, and they investigated the house again, guns drawn this time, and inside they found him.
Of
hidden
course.
under my bed. If that's not terrifying, I don't know what is. When I said earlier that cops usually suck, yeah, this was the one time I actually loved cops here. And yes, it was the man who posted the Craigslist ad. He actually broke into my house to kill me that night.
Of
as he had
course.
his gun on him, and why else would he be hiding under my bed? That doesn't sit well with me, even to this day. He was found guilty of breaking and entering with intent to commit murder beyond a reasonable doubt, and was sentenced to 10 years in prison.
10 years? For that? Bro, life.
To a new town and changed my number. I had
Good.
to strip any possible trail that could lead that man to me when he gets out. And I'm sure he's out by now for alleged good behavior. That's the part that scares me the most.
Wow.
All of this, over less than $1,000 worth of items. It actually makes me sick. I think Craigslist is one of the most dangerous places on the internet you could go.
Facts. Desperate ass people, bro. They just want stuff, yo.
It's answered an ad posted on Craigslist for a free mini fridge under the free stuff section. I was setting up what people would call a man cave in my basement.
Free? Get the heck out of
And I
here.
needed a mini fridge for under the bar to store beers and other drinks inside.
Of course.
I checked the address on maps, and the house was apparently waterfront. sitting over a tall cliff overlooking a huge lake. The person who was texting me said his name was John, but that he wouldn't be in the house, just his elderly mother. He told me when I got there I'd have to let myself in and go to the far right bedroom from the foyer, as his mom is hard at hearing and she's very slow. I thought for a second, what if instead of me answering this ad, it were a bad person and they totally took advantage of the situation? It sounded almost too easy to rob this old woman's house. Well, I coordinated a time with John to go to his mother's house, around sunset, and I gotta say, as I pulled up to the long dirt path to the property, seeing that big house sitting at the top of the hill with the sun setting in the background over the cliff, it was beautiful. Before going into that house, I admired the view of the lake below for a couple minutes. Then I texted John that I was there. He repeated his instructions to just let myself in and go to the room to the far right, as his mom would be waiting in the bedroom.
Nah, what? No, I'm not letting myself into your house. Come over to me. People don't understand.
She's very old and I'd have to do all the lifting myself. I said that's fine. I entered the house through the front door, which was left ajar.
Oh,
right away I was hit with the smell of cotton. It reminded me of the smell of my grandma's house.
Of course.
I followed his directions and went to the door on the far right, which led me to a narrow hall.
Okay.
The house seemed rather large from first impressions. As I went down this hall, the smell of cotton suddenly shifted to this horrible smell.
Bro, this man has dead bodies in his grandma, his granny's freaking house. The smell shifted from cotton to freaking gore. Hella quick.
Literally, it smelled like death, like a rotting animal.
Heck yeah.
I entered the doorway at the end of this hall, and the smell in that...
They're doing satanic rituals in here, bro. What the frick?
...room was unbearable. That's because of the dead, rotting corpse on the bed.
Huh? Dead, rotting corpse on the bed? Granny? Is that you? Dead, rotting corpse on the bed. Look, such a great way to greet your freaking guest. Hey, come inside. Hey, also, a dead, rotting corpse on the bed. Help me, or else you're dead too.
Help me, or else you're dead too. Yeah.
Corpse of an older woman. It looked as though she'd been dead for a week or two.
Damn!
I wanted to throw up. I suddenly heard a loud, maniacal laughing from upstairs, accompanied with stomping in place.
Okay.
It seemed someone was in a room directly on top of
me,
simply stomping their feet.
Grab a weapon!
And it worked. I ran out of the house to my car, looked at the house one more time, and saw a man at one of the upstairs windows.
Wow.
Then I realized there was another person standing at one of the downstairs windows.
What?
Both of them wearing face masks, like the same kind of mask you'd wear now for the coronavirus.
Oh, wow.
My phone started blowing up with texts all of a sudden, all of them in capital letters. The first text said, "Ha ha ha," followed by, "We see you, look at the windows," then a bunch of emojis. The last text I got from him said, "Come back inside, you forgot your fridge."
Nah!
I drove off the property, and while on my way home, I called the police and reported the dead body in the house. After they investigated the house and apparently confiscated the dead body, which had no signs of any stab wounds or bullet holes, police arrived to my house for questioning. I showed them the whole conversation and gave them the phone number, which I warned them was probably a fake number, and I was right.
Yeah.
But an officer named Boris told me they'd still be able to trace the number even if it was through some kind of fake number app.
Boris.
So, a week later, I was curious about the status of the case. So I called the police station, but the woman who picked up the phone didn't know any information. That or she didn't care enough to look for me. Because in general, she was just kind of rude. I never read about or saw anything on the news about an arrest being made regarding this. So to this day, I don't know if the people in that house were caught, or if they were even responsible for that woman's death.
That's creepy. That's creepy because it's like, there's two guys, and you don't even know if they said there was no freaking bullet wounds, no stab wounds. So she'd probably die of natural causes. Or they poisoned her ass. Like, it's either one, either or. And who is the woman? Is that the granny? Or is it some random ass old woman? Like, we don't even know who it could be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bro. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, this video for today. Man, out of all 4 of these videos, the last 2 were the clucked up ones. Definitely the last 2 were the most clucked up ones. But what was the most scariest one to you? What was the most clucked up one for you? Comment down below in the video. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe if you guys are new. Shout out to the people that are watching this on the live. I see y'all in the live chat, you know what I'm saying? And thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.